There's not many developers that are just constantly putting out bangers and you can put your full trust into. Like, the only ones that really say are Naughty Dog and Rockstar.
Did you hear the rumor about COD 26 only being on Xbox?
I did not hear that.
So they are testing it right now on next-gen Xbox. It'll be on Game Pass. Xbox exclusive. Personally, I don't think it's true at all. They just lost the PC community, or if it's just Xbox and PC, that's still dumb. They're just losing all the PlayStation players.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 221 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, how we doing, bro?
Doing pretty good. Came off my birthday weekend.
Yes, indeed.
Had a nice time. Didn't really do too much to be. I mean, like, I went out with some friends and like got dinner, had a couple of drinks. That's really it. Nothing crazy. But
You kept it low key
nice
for the 27?
Yeah, I mean, most of my birthdays are pretty low key. I don't really
Right.
go out like all that much.
I think the one that we're gonna have to go big for is when we turn 30.
30, yeah. One last
Yeah.
hurrah.
Right. Because that's what my brother did. Like, for his 30th,
Mhm.
he just did like a little bit extra. He's always the same with that. Like you and I, doesn't really do much for his birthday, but for
Mhm.
that one, he did a little bit extra.
Mhm.
Because it's like the end of an era. Like, now he's officially an adult. He can't be like, oh yeah, I'm a young adult in my 20s.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like now
no.
it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, no,
For-
literally. Yeah,
but
but yeah, just some dinner, some drinks. Went out yesterday and that was really it. But
well, dude, it was
that was
but it
good.
was it was good weather though, bro. It was
It
good weather.
was. It was
Let's
good
talk
weather.
about it.
Nah, yeah, last week it was amazing weather. This week is garbage. We
Yeah, bro, it's
traded
good.
in like one nice day during the weekend for a whole week of rain.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's gonna rain all week here, which is such bull. I
Yeah.
hope at least, like, if it does rain, it says that it's gonna rain a bit, but it just stays gray out, you know?
Yeah.
Because I hate when it's like this morning I looked outside and it was downpouring. And I told you before we started, like, I didn't work today, and I was just thinking, thank God I don't have to go out into that. Because
Mhm.
there's just something about walking through and then I get in and I'm already wet. I'm like, dude, the day's already starting off on an L, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I'm fine if it's scattered rain, but
Yeah, I don't mind that.
we'll see though. It's gonna be a long, gray, depressing week
Yeah,
for the
dude.
weather. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one to get through. And I tell you too, man, even last week was a little bit of a drag at first because and we just kind of start off with it since it's like some of the biggest gaming news that's going on right now, dude. GTA 6.
mhm.
We made the goal to make it to 2025. We did. And then they went and then they went and put it out and they were like, one more year, boys.
Yeah.
So they said that's gonna be coming out May 26th, 2026.
You know,
Um, what do you think about this?
I mean, like, at this point, did we all really think GTA was ready to come out like this year? Um, but I mean, I trust Rockstar, but that this just again they've done it before, so this just means that they're not, this game isn't perfect in their eyes yet. So this game's gonna bang no matter what. So if they're gonna take another year to work on it, go for it, Rockstar, because I completely trust them.
Now, do you think this is going to be the time that it actually does come out, or do you think it's going to have even more delays? Like, do you
Oh,
think this game could easily release at like the end, like Christmas time, 2026, or even early 2027?
I mean, knowing them, they're probably gonna delay it because I feel like you would want to launch a game closer towards the end of the year, like sometime in the fall. I
Right.
feel like that's probably the best time. But I mean, I guess it really depends how many leaks we get, right? 'Cause, I mean, they're pretty good about keeping everything under wraps over there. But once we start seeing, I don't know, maybe more trailers or something like that, then maybe it'll actually be true. But no, my guess is it's gonna be towards the end of 2026 or the end of 2027.
Yeah, I think it's going to get delayed one more time. I think it's probably going to come out like September or October, like right before the holidays, so people can go and
Mhm.
buy it for Christmas. Um, but I don't know, it would be dope if it came out then, like, in May, because then, people were in college or getting out of school, and then, like, just in general, it's summertime, and you
Mhm.
could just lock in and play that. I mean, that would be unbelievable. Um, but yeah, you do have a fair point about the leaks because if the game does leak a lot, I think they're gonna wanna put it out way faster.
Mhm.
Like, I know that's kinda what they did with the trailer, right? Like, they had that initial like, the only trailer that we've gotten for the game, it got leaked, and then an hour later, they're like, "Yeah." Well, like, not even an hour later, they just put it out. They're like, "Fuck it," you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Um but it's gonna be amazing to me, and it's always been with them. It's amazing how they're able to go on and develop this game for I mean, it's like almost a decade probably they've been
Yeah,
working on this game, and nothing comes out about it. Like, and just
yeah.
Rockstar in general, like, how many of their games actually get leaked and people find shit out about it? Like, they know how the story goes, or there's, like, a big plot point that's revealed. They like, you never have that experience with their games, and I don't know
Mhm.
how they avoid it.
They got, I mean, the people working there, the culture in that, like, studio and just at Rockstar in general must be, insane. Like, everyone's bought into that company, that developer, like, don't leak anything. Like, everybody knows the true impact of, like, all the games that they make, and no one is willing to leak anything. Because, dude, imagine if you did leak something, you could probably charge, like, a pretty good premium to leak, like, something, but also, I'd imagine if you got caught leaking something, you're probably fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm all those guys have signed, what are they?
NDAs,
Yeah,
and
NDAs.
it's probably, like, in their all the employees probably in, like, their contract or something when they become an employee there. Like, whether that's, like, you're, like, in marketing or, like, you don't even need to be building the game, just working
Right.
for that company.
Bro, you could be the janitor and you're signing
Dude,
an
for real. No,
NDA. Yeah.
yeah. You gotta be worrying about those people because you don't know.
Yeah, 'cause someone will be walking by and then they see
Yeah.
in one of the rooms, they're like, "What's going on there?" And they take
Oh,
out
yeah,
the
yeah.
smartphone and they
Dude,
start
literally.
filming. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing that that stuff, hasn't been an issue. I think there was with the trailer leak, I wanna say that, that leak happened because it was the son of some, developer there. Like,
Mhm,
there was one of the people that works on it, their kid got access to it and leaked it. I believe that's what happened,
mhm.
um, which, bro, could you
Damn kid,
imagine?
dude.
Yeah, can you imagine the dad though? "You fucking
Oh,
ruined my life."
dude.
Like
Oh, no, literally.
like,
Could
and
you
at what cost, bro?
dude. Yeah, he was like, "All my friends wanna know."
Mhm.
Um, that, like, side note, that's like, I know you don't follow football, but there was this guy, Shador Sanders, that he's a quarterback from Colorado, and he was, like, in the draft, and everybody predicted him to get drafted, in, like, the 1st round,
Oh, I heard
and
about this.
he didn't, and he dropped all the way down to the 3rd round, which is whatever, besides the point. But, on day 2 of the draft, like, he's sitting there, and I'm sure you've seen the videos, like, all the coaches, owners, whatever, they call the player and like, "Hey, you're, whatever, whatever now, right? You're gonna be part of this organization." Um, Sanders had 2 phones. He got one like, his personal phone and then a phone, like, just for, all of his contacts for, like, the NFL, right?
Mhm.
And someone got a hold of that number in the draft, and it was a kid that got a hold of it. I mean, I say kid, it's 21, I think. I'm pretty sure he was 21. Prank called him, and, like, he was, Sanders was live streaming this,
Yeah.
and, yeah, the guy prank called him and was like, "Yeah, you've been drafted, by the Browns, blah, blah, blah. You're ready to be part of Cleveland." And, like, he was all excited and stuff. Then they realized that it was a prank call because he didn't pop up on the TV, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, and, everybody was like, "Yo, that's an insane prank call." It was funny, but insane. And then a couple of days later, it came out that the kid that prank called him was the son of an Atlanta Falcons like defensive coordinator, or like he was one of the coaches, like he was
Right.
high up there. Um and the kid he came out with like an apology, like written statement, everything. and the
Yeah,
Atlanta
yeah, yeah.
Falcons had to, like, come out and post on their social media about everything. Um,
Wow.
Absurd. I was like,
Yeah,
"Could you imagine his dad, the embarrassment this guy must have now?" Like, and he was a, he obviously he's a head coach,
right,
like,
right, right.
respectable. And then
Yeah,
his kid did that because he saw the number. It was leaked on his dad's iPad,
gotcha,
and he
gotcha.
got it and prank called him. Like, what goes through your head? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
see,
you baiting? Like, obviously that kid's trying to, like, clip farm, I guess.
right, right.
I
I
mean, it went viral, but
I think in a situation like that, if you're like, you're, responsible for leaking and say you're, I don't know, like 12, 14, 15 years old,
Mhm,
like a legitimate kid, then, I could see you maybe not understanding the gravity of what you're doing, you
mhm.
know? But when you're 21 and you're doing shit like that, you know that this is fucked up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah. You know.
You know, like, what's at stake here, and like you're playing with someone's emotions and like, their future career. Um, I mean, obviously the embarrassment and shame that dad would feel, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I would hope that most people probably wouldn't be bugging on him that much. They'd just be
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, well his kid's an asshole," you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he is. And dude, I couldn't even imagine doing a prank like that to
Dude,
someone.
he yeah, so it it
That's
it
insane. I never saw that video.
it was the, defensive coordinator. So, very important key piece on the team, and
Yeah,
his son did that, and he, um, he was a former player too. Dude, could you imagine? Like, that's insane. Like, you work so hard for that moment, and then you get the call because obviously, right, he expected to get drafted first, and I think a
right,
lot of people expected him to get drafted on day 1, and he didn't, and then he fell to day 2 and got a prank call. Didn't get drafted that day either, also on top of that prank call.
right.
Um, and it's like, damn.
Did he eventually get drafted though?
Yeah, yeah.
That
On
guy,
day 3 he did, which
and
is
where's he going?
he's going to the Browns.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's so fucked up though.
No,
Uh,
yeah, it is fucked up.
but to like we were saying before, man, it's something that simple where the dad just, a slight oversight of having, the name on his iPad, and then his kid
Mhm,
goes, checks their contacts, and just steals it. I'm sure it was the same thing with that dad and his kid with GTA 6. Like,
mhm,
they were probably given it, like they were shown it, or like it was mailed to them, and then this kid just went and took it, sent it to himself, and then went and uploaded it to YouTube, or
mhm,
wherever he ended up posting it. Um, and yeah, I wonder what happens in those situations. Like that dad, I wonder if he lost his job because of it, or if there's like some really strange circumstance. Because I'm sure that if you end up leaking any of that stuff, they probably sue the shit out of you, and there's like a termination of your
yeah,
job, all that stuff. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, that was like the only instance that they've had of it, and now we've got a whole other year that they're just gonna have to keep it under wraps. I mean, again, it's been, however many years that they've been working on it, and this is the only time, like, oh, it was probably a year, well, it was a year ago, I think, when the trailer came out,
mhm,
for GTA 6, or it's like close to it. Um, and yeah, now we just gotta wait again and hope that nothing else comes of it. But again, I say it many times before, when it comes to games getting delayed and everything, I really have no problem with it. I think it's always the better move to delay the game and just get like, honestly, probably the best game that you can get. Because no one's gonna remember or really care that much in the end that the game was delayed. They're just gonna matter that the fact that they got it.
mhm,
And I mean, GTA 6, right? It has to be the most hyped game in the history of video games, right?
mhm. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
there's
and
no doubt about it. So the amount of pressure that is on them to deliver
mhm,
and have that game be the best game ever is immense. And for me, I'm like, man, take your time. If you need to take one,
mhm.
2, 3 years extra, you go right ahead, because when the game comes out, everyone is literally expecting 10 out of 10 perfection.
Yeah, and also right now too though, like, they're not they're not doing the best job of, like, marketing and pushing it. when, for like a normal game, they would be saying, "Oh, this game's it's coming out in the next couple of months." It's kind of like it's like they knew beforehand already that they're gonna delay this because I haven't heard anything about GTA 6. And it's supposed to obviously it was supposed to come out this year, but normally you would see like some marketing campaign at this point for a game like that, and people would be leaking everything going into the game. Um and now it's being delayed another year. So, I mean, I think this game's gonna be great anyways. And like, I mean, GTA 5 still being played. So it's not like GTA fell off or anything. This game's gonna be insane when it comes out.
Yeah, it definitely is. And to that point too, that for sure had a lot of people sketched out as there just wasn't a second trailer coming because, like I said before, it's been almost a year. And I remember the
Mhm,
trailers with GTA 5, they were coming out, and same thing with Red Dead 2. It was like every couple of months they'd be putting out another trailer. Um, and yeah, they haven't really done a lot to marketing. Though I will say, I do think this game is just so big that
mhm.
like they don't need to do shit. Like the
Yeah,
marketing and the hype for the, like of course they will to an extent, but the amount of hype just from people talking and like understanding the magnitude of this game, that's like done enough.
mhm.
People just see that one trailer and they're like, "Oh my god," We know how good 5 was, and that was like over a decade ago that game came out. Everybody just is assuming this game is going to be, beyond comprehension. And that's
Yeah,
like that's all that people need in order to get hyped for it.
yeah,
Um, but it would be cool to see like more shit in that game. Just like
mhm,
I think I wonder is if you can actually go into every building. Like, and every
yeah,
building has a room and stuff, like all the skyscrapers, houses. That's something I wonder about. Like, is it that detailed?
yeah. I mean, the it'd be funny if they just didn't market anything and then the game just came out and then the word of
Yeah,
mouth obviously would just go crazy. But I mean, they have a chance here, and whenever they do start releasing more stuff about the game, where they're just gonna be the talk in the video game community, like for months up until the game. Like
yeah.
no other dev should release a game within that time frame because they are just gonna get overwhelmed by GTA. Everyone's gonna be playing that game.
Yeah.
So
I was just
GTA,
thinking the
like
same
if
thing.
GTA is in that September, October timeframe when like every other big game is launched around that time, those other games, obviously like people will go and play them, but GTA is just gonna take over. Like
Right.
completely, especially on launch day. So um
Yeah.
well, I mean,
I
we'll
saw
see when yeah.
I saw people talking about, they're like, "Oh, they delayed it because they were scared of, Ghost of Yote, which is coming out." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of
No,
here."
yeah,
Like,
no way.
Ghost of Yote and
Yeah,
every other like, Call of Duty too. They're all over here like,
yeah.
like, 2026 when's coming out? Oh, thank God. We're good for now.
Yeah, yeah. No. The detail in GTA 2, I wonder how our our consoles are gonna do. Because if it is that detailed, dude, PS5's blowing up, man.
Oh, yeah. Dude, how many
Also,
gigs do you think it's gonna be really quick?
oh, dude, that thing's gonna be fat. Like,
How many gigs do you think a
yeah,
GTA 6 is?
dude, at launch, like, dude, it's gotta be well over like 500 gigs, like base, like easily. It
Damn,
has to be.
really? I
Dude,
mean,
like
I'm
G
hold
well,
on.
no. Black Ops 4 was like in total, I think Black Ops 4 was like 6 or 700 gigs.
So think about this, right? Red Dead 2 is 150 gigs, give or
Mhm.
take. And I mean, that was how many years ago that game came out? Like 7 years ago or something like that. So I would assume, yeah, I mean, dude, that's fucking crazy to think it could be 500. That just sounds so faded when you say that.
Half a
But
terabyte, yeah. Well,
but
no, like, to think about it,
when you
like, if
think
you
about
can
no.
go into every building,
Oh yeah.
like,
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if that thing launched and, like, within the time life of that game, it's over a terabyte, over
oh yeah.
1,000 gigs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure. I think that game at base, it'll probably be like 400 gigs, like
Mhm.
350, 400 gigs if I had to guess. which, dude, you think about that, if you have a PlayStation that has it's a terabyte, right?
You
Or
have a base model, 500 gig.
oh, yeah, dude, you have
Yep.
a 500 gigabyte,
Yeah.
PS5, dude, you're cooked.
I would
Like,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all you can play. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm gonna have to think about that because when I go and have, I've got a terabyte, but still,
Mhm.
like, with the way COD's going, bro, and then gonna have GTA, dog, I can only have probably, like, 2 games on here. Like,
You
I
gotta
can't
you gotta upgrade your SSD.
Yeah, I need to go and get more storage. It's gonna be ridiculous. It's already a little bit of a problem for me.
Mhm.
Um, just like having I have so many games that are on the back catalog and I can't play all of them because I'm like, well, I'm never gonna delete COD off my console,
Yeah.
that just always stay there. So that's
Mhm.
already like 40% of what I have, in
Mhm.
storage is just in that one game. And then if I have like I got Red Dead 2 on there, like, that's already taken up a bunch of space too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be bad, dude. When it comes
It's gonna
out,
be big.
yeah, dude, my PlayStation is going to be humming, and
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have
I
to
ha
delete everything to make room for it.
I have, like, 4 or 5 gigs. I think I have 5 not f gigs, terabytes.
Bro, can you
Ridiculous
imagine?
gigs. Um, I think I have 4 terabytes of, like, external storage, and then it's, like, another 100 of, like, internal storage. So I think I have
Yeah,
5 terabytes in total,
gotcha.
um, which is insane. That's 5,000 gigs. It's a ton, but, like, I haven't had to delete any games or anything from my PlayStation, but obviously, there will come a time where I have to, and it's just more like a convenience thing. Like, I don't wanna
Right.
delete a game, then, like, wait to install a game and then, like, to do all that.
Yeah, well, that's how I am too, because there's a lot of times where I'll go and see a clip on Instagram of people playing like Mafia or Mafia 2 or one of them, and I'm thinking, oh, I want to go play that game. But then when I go into my game, I have to go and re-download it, and then it says, oh, it's going to take 40 minutes,
Mhm.
and it just totally kills your vibe. You're like, fuck,
Yeah.
like I want to just go and think about playing it and do it.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so it's tough with the storage. I mean, I'll say too, just the fact that I don't know when exactly it was. I guess we'd have to think back then when Call of Duty became Call of Duty, where
Mhm.
they did this. Like every time you see people playing Call of Duty on PlayStation, and I'm sure it's the same for PC people, like it's the Call of Duty hub. Like you're not playing Vanguard or
Mhm.
MW2 or Black Ops 6. So all of those games and Wars, I don't think Warzone's actually downloaded with it, but all of those games are like
Mhm.
in one thing. So
I think
they
I think
have to
Warzone is part of it.
it may be, but I'm not too sure. I don't
I
know
think it
like what
was
part of Warzone, if there's like different things that you have to download.
I think it's just Warzone. I think the start of it was 29 like, it didn't start in 2019. I'm pretty sure in 2019 there was Call of Duty, and then, like, the Warzone part was separate. And then going into, 20 like, Cold War,
Yeah,
I think yeah, Cold War, I think that's when they combined everything into one, like, just one Call of Duty.
I think you're right.
Um,
And I
yeah.
don't like that.
I don't I don't either because it's huge and it causes, like, downloading, not problems, it's just annoying because 'cause I'll log on and it says, "Oh, you have to download all these, like, extra packs." I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm not playing campaign. I'm not playing pack 1 for zombies or pack 2 for zombies. I just want the
Right.
multiplayer."
Well, and for me, it was a couple of days ago because I played COD. I played on Friday, and when I went to go and play it, I had to go do some update for the game, and I couldn't update it because it's like, oh, you need to go and have all this free space. And I'm like, you got to
Mhm,
be kidding me, man. Just because whatever that update is, it could be only like a 10 gig update, but it
mhm.
needs all the space of the game to
Yeah.
be able to do it, you know? Whereas if this was just Black Ops 6, I mean, man, it's probably like, I don't know, 80 gigs.
Mhm.
Like, I don't even know how much COD would be, but it sure as hell wouldn't be like what it is now, where it's like 350, 400 gigs
Yeah.
for everything included. Yeah, it sucks. I don't know why Activision did that, or like I don't
Mhm,
even know whose call it was to just have it be under one banner of Call of Duty because it
mhm.
makes no sense. It's like we say
Yeah.
all the time, COD's changing every year, but they're like, but it's Call of Duty. I'm like, you could
Yeah.
be playing one from 4 years ago and call it that.
Yeah, no, Warzone is separate. Warzone
Mhm.
is it needs its own separate, like, app.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
I don't think it should be put with the rest of them.
but did you see too, on the topic of, like, consoles and stuff, that consoles are going up, $100?
Why is
Yeah,
this?
tariffs. Like,
No.
actually.
You
Uh,
you don't say?
I was gonna say something else, but I'm not gonna say it. But yeah. Wait, I mean, that sucks. That it went up another $100 because, dude, I remember when people were complaining about the cost of these consoles, like the current gen consoles when they were coming out.
Right.
Um, and now they're up another $100 like baseline, which, these ain't cheap. Uh, and it sucks. So,
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know, the complaint about prices going up, for consoles, I do hear it, of course, because, man, that is a lot of money, to be
mhm.
shelling out, because what is it now? Like, it was I remember at one point, it was, like, 350. You could get a console and a game bundled with it. Um,
I think the PS5 launched at like 500,
yeah. So now it's like if you wanted to go find one brand new,
599.
yeah, it's that much.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
depending what model you get.
yeah, I mean, you could always find deals, of course, but just the fact that that's what they're gonna have if you wanna go buy it brand new from Sony or from, like, any other distributor, it's costing that much.
Mhm,
It's still a lot, but, man, that's what these consoles were like, I remember when the PS3 came out, I
mhm,
mean, that's, like, a legendary one that people talk about because that one was so expensive when it came out. I
mhm,
wanna say back then let me go, look it up. I wanna say back then it was, like, $500.
mhm.
No, dude, yeah, it was $500 for the 60 gig model, and if you wanted to get the, oh, no, yeah, it was 500 for the 20 gig model.
Mhm.
That's crazy. And then it was
That is crazy.
$600 for the 60 gig model, which it says is the equivalent to $930 in 2024 at the time when this came
Mhm.
out, which was I don't even when did the PS3 actually launch? Is it 2006? Yeah. Which dude, can you imagine if consoles were that much?
Yeah,
Like, if the
that's
PS6 came out, they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna be,
yeah.
$750." People would be up in
Oh,
arms.
yeah.
But
Well,
back then, people were just
yeah,
like, "Yeah, dude, it's the new gen."
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, back then, though, we didn't have this technology, and
Right.
also just, like, shit wasn't that, like, as expensive as now.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
life in general and the stuff that we want is just way more expensive. And then technology has gotten cheaper, like, obviously, like you said, the prices of, like, any basic tech from back then has come down, but everything else in life from back then has gone up. So now it's just like, okay, do you wanna live life or do you wanna buy a console?
Right,
Like
and the other thing that's happened too is there's been more competition in different avenues for gaming.
Mhm,
Back then, like, you did have Nintendo,
yeah,
but it was really just limited to console gaming. Like, I'm sure in 2006, there was a, PC realm, but it's nothing like where it is today, where,
mhm,
PC gaming and mobile gaming are just huge avenues. And a lot of people just go down those routes instead because consoles are or
mhm,
they're more expensive, or they're like, hey, if I want to go play PC, have a better experience, I only have to pay a little bit extra.
mhm,
um but yeah, you're right, technology, like, for gaming in general, has gotten cheaper, and life has not
mhm,
gotten cheaper.
yeah,
So it
but
is a shitty move, but if there's someone out there who's looking to get a PS5, yeah, should don't spend that much money on it, bro.
yeah,
Go on,
go get a
Facebook
used one.
Marketplace. Yeah, go get like you did, bro. Go
Yeah,
go find someone who wants to sell it.
yeah, and, thing on top of that, like, PC parts are gonna get more expensive too. I'm
Oh,
sure they
yeah.
already are. So, like, you really gotta pick and choose what you want. And also too, I mean, if it's trickled down to consoles already, it's probably gonna trickle down to games in general at some point. So, like, we've talked about the $70 price tag versus, like, the $100 price tag of games because GTA is apparently supposed to launch at $100 base, um, which is a whole separate conversation. But if they bumped consoles up $100, who's to say, they don't bump games up to just 79.99 now, like
Right.
base $80 games, like, dude,
Well,
$80 games just in general. That's
Well,
disgusting.
they're gonna put you in this place where you don't have a choice, you know?
Yeah. And
It's the same thing with, like, iPhones, like, people are all tripping about, that, like, if things continue the way they are,
mhm,
we're not gonna get crazy into politics, but it's like, if things do continue that way, there's definitely gonna be a price increase,
mhm,
and if someone wants the new iPhone and it's way more expensive than previous models, well, what are you gonna do?
mhm,
Like, I mean, you're still just gonna be left with the same option. Do you buy
mhm,
or do you not buy? And there's gonna be enough people who they wanna have it, 1, because
mhm.
they're that desperate, or 2, they just wanna show off and be like, "Oh, yeah, I did spend $5,000 for this iPhone." It's like, "Bro,
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
cares."
Well,
Like, you're
see,
a moron.
that's the thing. The price increases of, like, say, games in general or just whatever, they're not gonna jump. These companies are smart. They're not gonna jump it, increase the price that
That
much.
much.
But for a console, right, $100. So like, $100, that's a lot of money. But in the grand scheme of things, like for the price of that console, like
Right.
what's another $100? But that's where you fall into the trap. Because if you buy a game brand new and they charge $80, you're like, well, this sucks, but it's really only $10 more. I'm like, okay, well, if you buy like one game every month or whatever, that's an extra $120 for what? For
Right.
no reason at all. Like you'd be getting the same game that you would have gotten at $70, but now at 80.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have no choice, if Call of Duty is gonna be $80, that's what we're gonna pay,
Mhm.
and we're gonna be bullshit about it, and, like, forget about the people that, then go and spend money on microtransactions and do all that because 'cause they've got their own problems.
Yeah.
Like, now you're gonna
We're
be spending even more money on those games.
yeah, but we're picky with games. Like, it's gonna be even harder for us to, like, find the games where we wanna spend that full $80 on.
Oh, dude, I mean,
But there are people that just buy, they just
eh
buy the new game, like, right at launch because
right.
it
Well,
like,
why
it
not?
just doesn't matter. Yeah.
R right, I still am pissed because I went on this morning and saw that Hogwarts Legacy is that free game, and it still pisses me off that I spent 20 bucks on that game, like
Yeah.
20, $30. I'm like, "Dude,"
Mhm.
you know?
It's a
It
principle, man. It's a
Right, right.
principle.
Well, and there's games, I see, because I don't know what's my hopeless addiction to the Sniper Elite series, like, I haven't beaten, like, the last 2 or 3, but I always like playing the new ones for
Mhm.
whatever reason, but I see the new one, I think it's 7? Like 6 or 7? I can't remember
Mhm.
which one. Um And it's like they got it on sale for $50 from the 70,
Mhm.
and I'm just over here like, "It's not low enough, bro." I'm
Yeah.
not like, I
Yeah.
ain't feeling it, It ain't a
Mhm.
$50 game. I'm like, "Man, that's a 20." That's a
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that game's a
Yeah.
20, like, for sure. But what I was gonna say with this is there's a lot of developers that I think are gonna come out of this, and it's gonna be in the indie realm or just, smaller developers, that are gonna start to compete and put if there's gonna be games that end up going to $80, they're gonna stay at the 50 to 60 realm, and they're gonna bring in a lot of people.
Mhm.
Just 1, because of the curiosity of the price, they're like, "Alright, well, I'll pay that for a new game, so let's see what they have." Um, and I really hope that happens because that'd be a big FU to a lot of these other developers who are going to do exactly what we're saying just because everyone else is doing it,
Mhm.
and they don't change a damn thing about how they make a game and, like, what they actually put out. They're
Mhm.
putting out the same crap that they did 10 years ago and we're charging $60 for it. And now they're going to go and just be like, all right, well, 70 is kind of the standard now. So we're going to go
Yeah.
throw that $10. Like you think about AC Shadows, bro. That
Mhm.
game is like such a mid game from what I've read about it and like
Mhm.
heard. Like, how different is that game really than Valhalla? Like,
Mhm.
as in regards to what they offer,
Yeah, yeah.
and, like,
Oh,
quality. Like, yeah, as the years gone on, things are a little bit better, but is it really that $10 better?
mhm. Well,
No,
that's the thing. Like,
no
back
chance.
in I remember back in the day, I never bought any of the, Assassin's Creeds brand new, and I would buy them on disc, and the time that I would buy them would be, Black Friday, like, right after Thanksgiving, and they always went on sale, and the new games would come out, like, September timeframe normally, and so they would launch at 60, you go buy them on Black Friday, insane deal, you get them for 40 bucks. And I'm
Right.
like, "Oh, okay, I'm saving 20 bucks, but I get a brand new game." And those games are better than some of the ones now.
Right. Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, there were so many games. I don't know, I just feel like the quality of games were, like, way better back then. I mean,
Mhm,
it's definitely, like, nostalgia kicking in, um, but I don't know, I felt more comfortable buying games at that price back then compared to now. I feel like there's so many games that are coming out all the time,
mhm.
and there's just been a string of years, with some of these teams where they've put out bad games that it's like there's not many developers that are just constantly putting out bangers and you can put your full trust into. Like, the only ones I'd really say are, like, Naughty Dog and Rockstar,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
you want good bang for your buck, right? Like,
Right.
I think, whatever you think about Assassin's Creed, like, especially the new open world ones, I love those games. Um, are they worth that $70 price tag?
No.
Like, yeah, very questionable. $60? Yeah, I think $60, like, those are worth it, especially if you do everything. Um, I mean, in my eyes, right, technically, the fact that I do 100% and complete all those, like, everything, technically, it is worth that $70 price tag for me, but I don't buy it at 70 because, like, in my eyes, it's not worth it, right?
Right.
But
Right.
but then Ubisoft, they do those insane deals and bundles where they'll bundle like Origins, Valhalla, like Odyssey, all in one for
Right.
$25. And I'm like, that's a steal. Like you're
Yeah,
literally
that's
robbing from
crazy.
them. Like
Yeah.
you are stealing from them. So you have to go and get that at that point. Um, but it's just so funny that that can happen. Because if I could erase my memory and just go back, if I saw three games like that and you get it for $25, you have, like, months and months and months of just gameplay
Yeah.
for
Yeah, like,
$25.
yeah, which, you know, we'll always be in that cycle of when we see these games that we play and we love them, and think about, like, Dead Island, right? Dead
Yeah.
Island 2 we got. Is it 2 or
Mhm.
3?
Uh, I think it's 2.
I think it's 2, yeah. Um, and
We
I don't know
waited
how
so long.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even remember how much we paid. I think it was $30, but I guarantee, like, if we check some random weekend, that game's, like, probably 20 or $10, and
Well,
we could have
now it is.
yeah, we could have saved
Yeah.
a little bit more, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
at the time, we really wanted to get it.
Mhm.
So it's
But
all just up to you of
yeah,
how much do you wanna
yeah.
wait.
Yeah, that $30, I mean, specific for that game, like, that was worth it at the time because we knew we wouldn't go and play it again, like, after,
Right.
like, we're done playing it. But imagine if we bought that game at 60 when it came out.
Oh, yeah, it'd be
Like,
bullshit.
that's the one thing that, I hate. Like, I've done it once where I've gotten a game at full price and, like, I absolutely just hated it and just stopped playing it, and nothing's worse than that
Yeah,
for a gamer's perspective. It's like, you feel like you have to play through the whole thing because you spent that much money on it, but you just don't enjoy it.
right, that's how I feel with the Hogwarts Legacy game. Like, I
Mhm.
wanna play it, but I don't, I wanna play it for the sake of what you're saying, to feel like the $20 or
Yeah.
$30 that I spent is actually being put to use,
Mhm.
instead of me where I think right now I literally just burned that money,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
nothing. Um, but yeah, I mean, dude, gaming just in general, it's getting expensive. It is an expensive hobby.
Mhm.
Um, Especially too, like I was saying earlier, if you're in that realm of someone who's like, you're buying microtransactions and you're playing into that hand, man, I don't know how you do it, unless you're some guy like, you're a Twitch streamer and you make, like hand over fist money and you're just buying it, because fuck it, you got that kind of money,
Mhm.
then man, all to you. But I'm sure there's people out there like, casual people who have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Call of Duty, for example. And I'm like, bro, how do you do that? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't, I don't, again. the value. You don't get anything out of it, in my opinion. Like, you get the cool skin, but you don't even get to keep it forever. So
Right, right,
it's such a hard sell. Um, but again, there's way more people that outweigh people like you and I who don't buy skins like every
right,
single season. And then those people, I don't know what that ratio is. It could be like 1 to 10.
right.
Like that
Well,
just
I
buy microtransactions.
I'm curious because, like, I had this little there was this rumor that's been going around, and I guess it's a big deal. Well, I guess it is a big deal for the next Call of Duty, talking about the microtransactions and the battle pass and how they're trying to I mean, the quote here is that Activision may be considering changes to the battle pass for Call of Duty 2025, and it says certain seasonal limited time modes may require battle pass ownership, and higher valued skins and content could be
Mhm,
part of the battle pass. Now, like, along the lines of what we're saying, if there's, extra stuff regarding, like, aesthetic things, like, skin-wise, that they're offering, and you have to go and pay more into the battle pass to get that, I don't really understand that because my concept of battle pass is that that's kind of what it is. Like, if you wanted to go and get the black cell stuff, you have to pay for that. Like, we can't use COD points to buy that. Or
mhm.
if you can, actually, I think you can use COD points, but it's like an insane amount. Like, you have to go and start putting
I
down some
well,
cash.
I think you can now, but I'm pretty sure in the beginning, like, you couldn't buy it. You had to spend actual money to get it,
Right. It was like
which
COD points for, like, the one that we buy, and then maybe COD points for, like, the middle tier, and then if you wanna buy,
what
like, the
you
full
have to
battle
spend.
pass, yeah, it's
Yeah,
$25 or whatever it was.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and I'm not surprised by this, Some people, like, what I saw, on YouTube from some of the channels that were posting about it, they were like, "This
Mhm,
is bullshit," and I'm like, "Really? Like, are you shocked by this, that
mhm.
Activision's trying to get more money out of their players?"
Yeah.
Um, but
Well
I don't know how big of an impact this is gonna have because for you and me, man, I'm not if they're, like, blocking certain game modes that
mhm.
I'm like, "Okay, we don't play those anyway,"
Yeah.
I don't really give a damn,
Well,
you go
so
ahead.
that's the thing. It's like, what was GameStop's thing? Power to the player.
Power to the
They're
player.
taking away power from the player. Like, they're taking things that were already in the game, and now, like, yeah, again, it's a principle. You already gave it to us. How can you take it away and now start charging us for what we already had? Like, what? That makes no sense. And again, like, you and I, we don't spend extra money really on skins or we bought the battle pass once, like, years ago, and have only used those COD points that we've gotten to buy the next battle pass. Um, and then we buy the breach skin, and that's it. Literally don't buy anything else. And if they start, I do think the battle pass does need a change, but doing it this way is just messed up because, like, what if they started charging for like party modes or like those limited time playlists? That's bullshit. When we
Yeah.
already had those game modes and now, like, we can only play them for also not the whole time, a limited amount of time during the season for these new game modes, but you have to buy the battle pass to have those playlists.
Yeah, it really is down to the principle of it, If
Mhm.
they're putting in some stupid, shitty modes that I don't care about playing, it doesn't bother me, but it still does bother me in the sense that, again, I paid $70 for this game. Whatever you're putting in this game that's like, just basic modes and things, there shouldn't be a paywall for me to go and
Mhm.
enjoy those things, you know? Now, when it comes to skins and stuff, I'll always be for that. Like, of course,
Yeah.
if that's not even um like included in the base game, like, I mean, you do still get skins and stuff from playing the game and all that, but yeah, like the extra tier of stuff that you want, and you have to pay for it, I'm fine by that. But yeah, it depends on what they block. If they have
Mhm.
like one in the chamber and they've got these 24/7 playlists or like, double XP playlists,
Oh,
uh
yeah.
yeah, they're
That's
like,
a
"Oh,
yeah.
you're gonna have to go, and if you want to enjoy this weekend's double XP, triple double XP, you've got to go and buy the battle pass to join into it." Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You know? And I could see them doing that, and it'd piss people like, they'd have the reaction that I have, and they'll just say, "Oh, fuck it, dude, this game's so fucking," and they'll just buy it, like, as they're
Yeah,
raging,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And I refuse
forcing
to
your
give them
hand.
more money than yeah, exactly, they give
Yeah,
you no option. Like,
yeah,
I refuse to give in to them on that.
yeah, because like you said, the skins are that's a given. They don't come with the game, you know? Do I think there should be cooler skins in the game? Yeah, they should because they just put like default characters and it doesn't seem like they're trying that hard to make the base skins like look really good. And
Justin,
then
can
they
you
go
remind us to interrupt, can you remind us of that MW, 2 skin that we got, bro?
yeah, dude.
For
Yeah,
for
default.
for level 1250, can you remind us?
Straight default skin. We were
Yeah.
expecting you know, skull on fire, flames going everywhere. Dude, this
Shit was
guy
so bad. It's just an
normal
all
soldier.
black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but then they do have cool skins. Like they go super hard in these bundles. And again, you and I don't buy them because of the principle, but maybe one day they do like I don't know, some insane collab where I have to. Like I was really close to buying the WWE one. Um, but those are cool skins. But
Right.
oh, and I understand that you have to pay for those. Whereas, uh, they should put more effort into the default ones, but they're not making money there, obviously. And then, actually, on top of the topic of Call of Duty, like with more microtransactions and whatnot, did you hear the rumor about COD 26? I know we're skipping a year later, but only being on Xbox.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, so they are testing it right now on next gen Xbox, and there are rumors that it might only be Xbox because it'll be on Game Pass, Xbox exclusive. Which personally, I don't think it's true at all because that would be
They're
moron.
morons
Yeah,
if
straight
they do
morons if they did that. They just
like,
lost like the PC community and
80%
the
of their player base
dude.
is gone, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
or
so dumb.
or if it's just Xbox and PC, that's still dumb. Like they're just losing all the
Yeah.
PlayStation players. But yeah, that is a rumor going around now that it could only be Xbox because they're making the game for the new Xbox, and it's gonna be on Game Pass.
Right. I think you're right. I think that's total BS. I would
Hmm.
be mind blown if they actually went through that. I think Game Pass, they have a good thing going right now is that if you want to go and play all those old CODs, I believe you can go and play them on there.
Yeah.
They have just about all of them there. So if you want to play campaigns, you want to go play multiplayer. Like I've seen people. I can't believe I'm saying this in 2025. I saw on Twitch. I was watching White Boy Seven Street,
Hmm.
and he was playing Black Ops 1, like,
Hmm.
multiplayer because there's a whole bunch of people playing it on Xbox. Dude, I think that is, like, a huge incentive to go and buy one of those consoles, you know?
Hmm.
I mean, if I just had that money lying around and, I would go and do that. Like, I think that'd be fun, you
Hmm.
know? Um, but, yeah, to go and have the entire game, since, well, Microsoft, obviously, like, with their whole deal,
Hmm.
now, like, acquiring it, I think that would just it would be moronic. They
Yeah.
they would have some people that would make the shift, from PC to
Hmm.
Xbox or PlayStation to Xbox, but those people, they're dumb to begin with if they're gonna do it just for one game.
Hmm.
And yeah, like their vision is that if they did that, everybody would leave all the others
Oh
and come back to the dying Xbox. It's like, bro, that ain't happening.
yeah. The If that happened, that would just be insane. That you know, Activision or well, I got Microsoft. They even thought about doing that. Um,
It wouldn't surprise me though. It
But
wouldn't
no,
surprise me.
it wouldn't either. It wouldn't
Like
surprise me either, and would I switch? No, I
no.
wouldn't. I like you and I would be just watching the games, to be honest.
Right,
Like,
right.
because I don't have like and it's specifically next gen Xbox, whatever that is. Um, so it's gonna be like $700. I don't have $700 to go buy a console. At that point, like I'm just saving up more money to go buy a PC.
Right, because
Like
The release like, yeah, the PS5 came out in 2020. Um, so I don't even know when the next set of next gen consoles
Mhm,
is gonna be coming, but I think that's gonna be a crossroads for us. Is when that happens, I think that's when I'm gonna make my move to go to PC.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whenever they end up putting out the next gen, that's when I'm probably gonna be like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna buy it. I think I'm gonna
yeah.
go to PC.
I think for me, it really depends on the price tag because, like, if they launch a console at 700, $800, that's just absurd to me for a console. You can just save up and just get a PC at that
Right.
point, and then, yeah, you lose out on PlayStation exclusives, but you can wait a couple of years down the line or something and then buy, like, a used PlayStation to get those exclusives, but I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know how things are getting more expensive for no reason, that honestly.
What's going on, Justin?
Things are getting expensive for no reason. Like, the
Yeah.
quality's not getting any better.
Now, again, I'm more than fine paying a little bit extra if I'm getting better quality, you
Yeah.
know? You go to a nice restaurant, you're gonna pay, you know, $20 for, like, a, nice sandwich or, like, 25. You're expecting a level of quality, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Like, when I'm getting absolutely bent over paying $20 for a martini, there's
Mhm.
a level I'm expecting. When
Yeah,
that
no.
level ain't met, I'm pissed. And
No,
it's same thing
literally.
with games. It's like, bro, when I'm paying $70 and I see that, it's like all the top devs that are putting
Mhm.
out these games, I'm expecting greatness. Like I'm expecting this to be a really good game, easily in the 8 to 9s. And then when I get disappointed, that'll make me happy. Where I
Oh,
see the
no, yeah.
game ranks before you buy and I don't hear them excited
Yeah,
about the game.
yeah.
They're just like, this one's kind of kind of interesting. I'm like,
Mhm.
no, don't start like that, bro.
Yeah.
It's
No,
it's getting tough for sure.
yeah, especially being, like, a longtime gamer too. Like, one of my friends from work, he's gamed for a while, but he just doesn't have a lot of time anymore to game.
Right.
And he just got a PS5 and he's never been on PlayStation before. So he asked me like what PlayStation exclusives does like he needs to play. And I'm like, "Oh man, the fact that you haven't played any of these and you can play them anytime you want and you have no idea." I'm
Right.
like, "You just have you have so much to look forward to in those games." I gave him a long list. I'm like, if I could go back and replay Uncharted, like The Last of Us, the Spider-Mans, like Horizon Zero Dawn, like all these games with insane stories and just wipe my memory. Like
Ah,
great
it
time. I'm
oh,
jealous of
dude,
them.
yeah, it would be the best. I mean, I've I have some of those students at school that are gamers,
Mhm.
and same thing, I ask them, I'm like, "You ever play, like, Uncharted?" They're like, "No, I never played it before," and I just think to myself, I'm like, "Bro, you are in for it, man, like, you have
Yeah.
to play that game," you know, because 'Cause I'm over here playing all these old games again, trying to recapture that, I'm like, "Dude, I wanna play Uncharted 4 and feel like I did the first time I
The
played
first
Uncharted
yeah,
4."
exactly.
Yeah. Like, where I'm going through all these levels and I'm like, "Holy sh," you know?
Yeah. And you only get that once.
Yeah, or you have to wait such a long time, and I don't
Mhm.
we haven't gotten there yet. There's gonna be a time, though, where we're, like, 45, 50 years old, and we're gonna go and boot up these old games because 'cause they're gonna be able to be played somehow,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? But it'll be, like, 15, 20 years since we last played an
Mhm.
Uncharted. Like, for you, it'll be 30,
Yeah.
because you don't ever replay these games, and it's gonna be, like, we're gonna forget. We're
Mhm.
gonna forget the game, and I think we'll get close to that feeling of the first time.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, even when I play like Black Flag, I haven't played that game in I think it was 4 or 5
Mhm.
years. I still remember it. I'm like, oh yeah, like I remember these missions. I remember
Yeah.
like what's going on. You
Mhm.
know?
I don't know, the games just don't the only game I've replayed multiple times is Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
That's the only game I've played multiple times. Like, when I go back and try to replay a game, I'm just like, it never hits the same as the first time you're playing it. It's just not the same for me.
Yeah, and I wonder too because I haven't done it very much. I want if it's the same with CODs. Like, I mean, going back.
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah.
like going back to Vanguard or something like that. But if I
Mhm,
went back now and played Black Ops 1 and played MW2 or MW3, I wonder if it would feel the same. Like if I would
mhm.
get that bit of nostalgia and really enjoy the game, or if I would look at it differently,
Yeah.
and not enjoy it as much, Because like when
Mhm.
Black Ops 1 doing all like the wagers and I'm thinking I was probably like 12 when that game 12 or 13 years old when that game was out.
Mhm.
Like, I'm 27 now. It's like, I feel differently about games. I play them differently.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd be feeling it as much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely different. I think if we went back and played MW3 again, we'd probably have fun the first, like, couple of matches, but then start thinking about other things in this game that, like, we miss from the newer CODs,
Right.
which, I mean, I don't know how much that would be, to be completely honest, but, like,
Bro, I would die once to Dead Man's Hand and be like, "Yo, punk this
that
game."
that is true, yeah. Would you
I'd
rather
be like,
die from Dead Man's Hand, or would you rather die from someone, like, fucking side canceling or dolphin diving off the roof killing you?
"Yeah,
Then
dude,
you
I'll
die in 3 bullets.
I'll die to that, bro." I'm like, "That's a skill issue." But if I get this guy down to Dead Man's Hand and I see them like this, I'm like, "Oh, no, dude, it's
Yeah.
over."
I will say those old games, though, like, the hit reg is so much better, and time to kill is I mean, the time to kill is what it should be,
Right,
not
right.
like MW2, MW3, the new ones. You feel like a god just because you kill so quick.
Oh, dude, and even watching the CDL over the weekend because we're finally at Major 4 here, or like the qualifiers for Major
Mhm.
4. There's some of those kills that go down, and it's unbelievable. Like they just
Yeah.
get lasered, you
Mhm.
know. Um, Obviously, too, they're such good shots, those guys, but there's some of those gunfights that I don't even understand how they go down. Like people
Yeah.
getting turned on, or just these random encounters when they're on someone's POV. Yeah, it's always mind blowing to me. And then I watch like old clips of Black Ops 2, and it seems like it's so much slower, you
Mhm.
know. I mean, just the game in general slower too, but yeah, like the hit reg, it's so much better.
Mhm.
Um, but I say we can touch on it a little bit. Talking about these matches over the weekend. Um, I don't. I think there's a couple of main points that came from it. One of them that was the sad one for us is that the boys, Boston, we got cooked
Yeah.
when we played in our match. We got 3-0'd. I think that was on a Friday, right?
Yeah.
Where that happened? Yeah, dude, the Friday matches has to be one of the oddest days in like recent history with Call of Duty, because pretty much everybody that was out there predicting matches was wrong as
Yeah.
to what was happening. Like it was FaZe and Surge. Um, Actually, no, when was it? Yeah, yeah, it was Toronto, Carolina, and then New York and Falcons. No, no, it was the next day. Then it was Saturday. Saturday is when it was. I thought it was on Friday. Yeah, it was Falcons and Rocker, Breach, Carolina, and then Optic and Surge, and Miami and Thieves. All those matches,
Mhm.
in my opinion, they have like clear cut people that are gonna win them. You think like Surge is gonna beat Optic, Thieves, Miami, um, and same thing with us with Carolina. Carolina's been on the decline, and we were like, oh yeah, it should be a good win for us, no problem. Yeah, we get fucking 3-0'd, bro.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
I'm just gonna chalk it up to that day, to be honest,
dude, that's what
because,
I'm saying too.
like,
That day was a bullshit day.
this I it made no sense. Like, Thieves, I think in the weekend they went 0-2.
They did.
They just won the fucking major.
Right.
Like,
Right.
or you could just say, "This is online. This is what happened." Like, if there was one thing about saying it's online, I mean, look at that. Like, makes no sense. And then, yeah, Optic played Surge. I think everybody would have just predicted that Surge is winning.
Dude, even
Uh,
Scump had Surge winning that.
yeah, and dude,
Totally right.
it was just a curse day, you know?
Yeah, dude,
Uh,
it made no sense. I mean, Optic, they played lights out and they looked amazing. They were just doing all the right things. Yeah, granted, I saw a lot of people saying that, Surge probably was having a bad day, and they said that in their tweets afterwards.
mhm,
Which I'm sure there is validity to that. But,
yeah,
Optic has to show up and play too. And
mhm,
and they looked really good. Um And then with the Thieves, yeah, they had a close loss. They got no, it wasn't a reverse sweep, but they did lose 3-2 um to Heretics.
Mhm,
And I was like, yeah, it's a tough loss. Like Heretics are good, but no big deal. And then they went and played FaZe on Sunday,
mhm,
and um, you know, I wasn't thinking that that match was going to be a blowout either way. I was like, oh, it's going to be a really good one. They haven't played in a long time. And then FaZe just went absolutely mental. Celium, I think he had a 1.95, if I remember correctly,
mhm.
at the end of the whole series against Thieves, which is insanity.
Yeah.
Um, it was a very weird weekend of matches, and I have no idea
Mhm.
where to view most of these teams right now. Like, is
Yeah.
Optic back? Are Thieves
Nah, I
dog shit? Like,
I it was one weekend. That's
mhm,
what I'm saying, like, well, besides the phase, like 3-0 against Thieves, um, I mean, like, again, I just don't think you can count out phase. Like, they got knocked out of that major, and they're like, "Alright." They know they're the best team in the game, and that helped out Thieves a ton, obviously. So,
yeah,
well, again, we'll never know. I'm sure those teams are gonna match up again at some point, either at Major 4 or Champs or EWC. But yeah, like this is where all these teams that are winning, you see their potential, specifically Optic. And then now are they gonna 3-0 surge again if they went back to back? Like personally, no. Maybe on that day, yeah. Maybe on that day they'll win 6-0. But
right.
yeah, COD is just very day to day, and it's good for Optic. Bad for us because we lost and didn't get any points, and Optic just got points. So
Well, and on along that, I think it's pretty much confirmed now from that match and the one with Rocker too losing
Mhm,
that Rocker's out of the run for champs. I think they had to win that match against
mhm,
Falcons. And then I don't know how it worked out with Optic if they needed Optic to lose that or it didn't really matter as long as they won theirs.
mhm,
Um, but I think the top 8 now is solidified. I don't
mhm.
I don't think there's gonna be really any moves that go around there. Um, and yeah, I mean, dude, what a disappointment from Rocker, bro. I mean, I was just like posting the clips today, and
Mhm.
here I am saying, oh man, Rocker's looking good. They're doing all this. And then,
Mhm.
bro, they're up at 2-0 against Falcons. I'm like, man, they're
Mhm.
gonna do it. And then
Yeah.
the reverse sweep
Well
comes in and they totally blow it.
I'm looking at the season. Well, okay. It's gonna be really hard
Yeah,
for them.
it's like, bro, they have
It's
yeah,
hard. It's yeah, they have to win out. Like they have to win out. Not everything. Because what I think when you win a major, you get 50 points. It's 40 or 50 points. Um, so if Optic lose everything, which is possible,
right,
and
right.
then get knocked out right away at Major 4, which happened last major,
Mhm.
then Rocker or Cloud9 can do it because they're tied right now.
But what does Rocker have to do though, bro? They have
Oh,
to pull a Dylan Envoy. They have to win everything.
they have to win out. Yeah.
Yeah, this time we take
Yeah.
everything. Bro,
I mean,
that's not
yeah,
happening.
Optics up 40 points, which is kind of crazy. That's like causing the difference between them and Cloud9 or Rocker right now.
Right, right.
They're barely escaping. But other people have said too, well, if Optic did get knocked out of champs, do we really want like whose ceiling is higher? Rockers, Cloud9, or Optic?
Right.
Questionable. Because you would expect if Rocker make it in or how Cloud9's looking, if they make it in, they're probably just gonna get bounced out right away, right? At champs. So would you rather see them play or would you rather watch Optic play?
Yeah,
Probably
of course.
Optic. But
Of
you
course,
know,
the talent's there with Optic. I mean, they definitely have a chance to do it. There
mhm,
is a lot of people, coping and having insane amount of hope after that match, saying like, "Is Optic back? Like, could we actually win this major four?" I'm like, brother, pump the brakes.
one.
Like, yeah, like, but I will say, yeah, it is great seeing them look
Yeah.
normal, like what we
One.
expect from
Yeah.
that team. being a top 3 team. I think
Mhm.
that's just always what it is. And now I think Octane said it best that the league is just better with Optic being up at the top too.
Yeah.
The competition level obviously and just makes it more exciting.
Mhm.
Um, Now it's just going to be a matter of do they continue this momentum and can they carry it into the major? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously that's the question. Who knows? They're going to be facing us after next weekend or this coming weekend, I should
Mhm.
say. Um, the former the prior to this, I would have thought that Boston's gonna win that, but considering that we got 3-0'd and they 3-0'd,
Yeah.
Surge, I have no idea what to think.
Mhm.
Again, was it just an odd weekend, or are we in the shit and Optic is all of a sudden they've figured it out?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think Boston can definitely hang no matter what. They are in that mid pack. Like
Yeah.
they can hang. Um, I'm gonna predict Boston's gonna take it, and it might be a close one. It might not be. uh,
Yeah, I think Boston I want Boston to win that, of course. I think they will win that.
yeah. I just got to go with Boston because they're more. Well, one, I want them to win, but also they've just been more consistent like this
Yeah,
whole year.
no
They've
doubt.
beaten like top teams. Um, so I mean, it would have been more impressive, obviously, if Optic took down like FaZe or Thieves. They did take down Surge, not throwing like shade at them or anything, but obviously everyone's looking at FaZe or Thieves um, as the top like teams.
Right.
So, but it is their major coming up. So imagine
Maybe they
they
pull it
just
together, bro.
if they just win, dude. COD just there is no facts about COD. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, none of us know what we're talking
No.
about. It
No,
makes
that
absolutely
would
no
be
sense.
absolutely insane. Like, FaZe would have to be knocked out early. These would have to be knocked out early. Same with Surge. The top 4 has to be out by Saturday.
Yeah, there has to be something like that, or it has to be that Optic just shows up and all of a sudden they've turned into gods and
Yeah.
they're playing like they did at MW3 champs, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Like, top
Um,
4 is Optic, Boston, Heretics, and Ravens. Or no, Cloud9 somehow, some way.
yeah, which is
Uh,
mental.
but oh, speaking of Cloud9 too, last thing. They did make a roster move.
Yes, they did.
They dropped Mac and Dylan Attach,
Rest
which
in peace, bro.
that sucks a lot for him because I hope there's a chance that he's probably done now, but
Mhm.
there's also a chance that he gets on the team. But it's really up to him, like whatever he decides at this point. I hope he's not calling it like this. I hate seeing these pros like call it because they're not washed per se. It's just they're
Nobody
falling on
wants
these
them.
teams. Yeah. And if that happens, the era that like we've grown up like watching these players is really going away. And I don't like that.
Yeah, because after Attach, it's, Slasher, right?
Yeah,
That's left from that old era of people that have been around for a long time in the scene.
the
Yeah,
prime.
there's a real generational shift that's going on right now, and that's what I was saying with Mercules and these guys.
Mhm,
It's weird to see them come in and, you just have this feeling that this guy is gonna be around for a long time,
mhm,
or he could be a future world champion. And all these
mhm,
guys that we've always known, in their storied careers, yeah, they're going away.
mhm.
Like Attach is a world champion, but it's like, man, that was a long, long
Yeah,
time ago. You know, and yeah, I mean, he's in a tough spot. I know that's going through his head. I'm sure. Do I try to get into another team
mhm.
and have another bad year and go out like that, or do I go out on my own terms and say, you know what, I'm not signing with anybody, I'm calling it.
Yeah, and to,
um
pivot to content and, like, focus on that or, like, yeah, get on another team and the like, whatever team he gets on, he will have to be that veteran player no matter what, and, the one that's a leader commanding, like, all the younger
right.
players. It would be cool though if like somehow they all form like an old guard again,
Yeah, that would be cool.
just for 1 year to see
Right.
what would happen. I'd love to see that.
They
uh,
get shit on and they immediately break
I
up.
that'd be awesome to see. Um, but yeah, I wonder who's gonna be like, those next guys up, but also like, are they gonna be the next guys up at some like I have you seen um the video or Zuma's stream where he was like crashing out about the amateur players?
Yeah, I did see that with all the drama, regarding them.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
it's ridiculous.
oh yeah, I was watching it live and dude, he was like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" Like, if you're an amateur player and you're saying these cups don't matter, why are you trying to be a professional then? Dude, as Zuma said, you play COD all day, you make no fucking money, you're not going to school, you're not pursuing anything in your career. Why are you playing then? If this doesn't matter to you,
Right,
like go do something with your life then, because you're just a stereotypical like gamer that everyone makes fun of. When there are other people that they're not going to school, um they're not going to school. They don't have a job. They're focusing on this, but they're trying so fucking hard to win these because they know that there is a career out of it. So
right.
step aside for the people that are actually trying hard and they care about this stuff. And Zuma was saying that I think his team, the Stallions, they wanted to scrim before the cup, and people were laughing at him for like wanting to scrim. I'm like, yo, who's
Yeah,
down there?
the people that have that, level of professionalism and dedication that's needed to be in the league, those are the people who are gonna be the next ones
Yeah.
up, I'm sure there's a lot of, talent that's in there, but maybe just maturity-wise, they don't have it,
Hmm.
at least right now, and that's gonna be a real problem for them. I
Hmm.
think also too, just, the structure of the league, it's and getting a spot in
Yeah.
general is so hard. I mean, of course, Mercules did so well,
Hmm.
and crazy no one got him. I
Hmm.
mean, I totally sympathize with him, and, like, when they talk about it, on the flank about how many people, um, didn't reach out to him. I think it was only one team, if I'm not mistaken, from what they said, that
Yeah.
reached out
It
to
was
him.
Cloud9,
Um, yeah,
and he
and
turned it
that's
down.
right. And that's just the state of the league. I mean, dude, this guy comes in on literally the best situation and does as good as he possibly could. Um, and even that still wasn't enough.
Mhm.
So these people who are in challengers who think that them winning all these challengers cups and stuff is going to like be the end all be all key for them to get into the league is just not reality.
Mhm.
Um, but if you're not taking this seriously and you're not trying to, put any effort into getting into the league, even if like what you're doing right now may not be you know, the best path,
Mhm.
there's no other path, but it's not a great path. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, but if you're putting in the time, dude, you got to take it seriously. I
Yeah.
mean, again, to his point, like, a lot of these people don't have jobs, they don't do anything else. So, man, if this is all you're doing, you should be unbelievable at this and you should be taking this so seriously because of the
Mhm.
sacrifice you're making. But
Yeah,
some of them,
exactly.
they don't treat it like that. Oh, this is BS. They're so entitled. Like they want to be in the league already. And
Mhm.
they're talking as if they've been playing in the league and
Yeah.
won, mega championships, saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, dude, this Challengers Cup doesn't matter." Like our cities can maybe get away with saying that because the
Yeah.
guys won 2 world championships, you
Mhm.
know. But
But he was
any of these
winning those
people
cups. That's
right,
the
right.
thing.
Well, yeah, he was
And
win no,
yeah,
exactly. He was winning
yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we can say this because 'cause we're not fucking trying to be pros.
Right,
I'm not
right,
playing in this amateur cup. Like,
right.
the yeah, the people that think like that, you might as well just not even play. Because
Oh,
if the
yeah.
path is hard, like, yeah, it is what it is. It's bullshit, but you can't do anything about it. So either you
Yeah,
complain about it or you go on and do something else with your life and let the people that really want to grind, that, have passion and believe in the league they keep doing it. Um,
yeah,
I don't think it's a surprise that every time a new season starts, the same challenger players just come up for the most part.
yeah,
Like Vivid, for example. He always gets thrown back down in challengers and he's always at the top. And then he's on a team again, gets dropped again, wins again in challengers, gets picked up again. Like the time will come eventually if you're consistently winning, The path might suck. It probably will suck, but like you never know when that chance is just gonna happen.
right, and that's what, has has happened with Mac in the past, and it's going to happen with him again. I mean, obviously the other player got dropped off that team. I don't know if he's going to challengers or if he's already done it yet.
Mhm.
But I'm sure he'll do well, and
Yeah.
he'll probably be on like a top team and be doing really well. And then it's the same thing with Capsule. They picked up Capsule
Mhm.
and Spart. And I know Capsule was playing, and I think Spart, I mean, he must have been right in
Yeah, he was
challengers as
playing.
well.
Yeah.
Um, but those are 2 guys that are in the league for a little bit, then they're out of
Mhm.
the league. Then they go back to challengers, they win a whole bunch of shit. They go back into the league, they don't do well, they go back down. It's like this never-ending cycle. And they keep mentioning Brack as,
Mhm.
one of those players he needs to be in the league and all that. Um, and yeah, I agree. I mean, if he's doing all that that they're saying and he's just dominating all the time in challengers, yeah. But from my perspective, he's another one of those guys. He comes into like
Mhm.
a mediocre team. He's going to be in a bottom 8 team that's
Mhm.
not going to go to champs and they're going to play bad. And then like what? He plays with them for the end of the year and makes it to EWC. And then they go and drop him and they drop
Yeah.
everybody on the team. And then he's gone again, back to challengers,
Mhm.
So there's this real cycle of those players that are coming along. And
Mhm.
there's not enough teams taking a chance on some of these AMs to get them started, which is what I think they need to do.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely do. I mean, they need more teams. Expansion would help. But
Yeah.
my like, I think, like, the format's fucked. Like, the format needs to be changed, and needs to be more teams, but at the end of the day, like, I think the people complaining about this, like, yeah, it sucks, but you can't do anything about it, and the only thing that you can do is just quit. Real like,
Right.
if you don't wanna do it anymore, and then, alright, fine, quit, but you gotta understand that the only way this scene completely dies is if all these players choose to, you know, to give up on all of this. That will kill the scene, and you can argue that the scene is slowly dying already, seeing after, like, all the old guys, like, start, like, leaving this game, and now
Right.
they're pivoting to being, like, just COD content creators instead. We're like, "Oh, that's awesome for them," but what legacy are they gonna leave if the
Right.
scene's dead? They're
Right. Yeah,
nothing.
not gonna leave anything. Yeah.
Exactly. So they gotta, if you actually have a passion for this, you gotta, like, give it 110%, like, every single day. Because the only way this scene dies is if the players itself decide it's gonna die.
Yeah. And to all those people, quit your bitching.
Yeah, you just
That's my
dude,
take.
you gotta
Bro,
grind.
you don't work a job, like, that is your job,
Yeah.
Like, if you wanna again, especially, like, my limited understanding of, pro sports. It's like, man, there's not a lot of spots in anything that you like in any
Yeah.
of those sports. If you're going to do anything like that professionally, there's only a handful of people that are going to be able to make it. Um, and like I think about that in F1, like the only thing I could talk about. There's so many people I'm sure who are amazing drivers that don't get a shot for whatever reason. And some of it could be bullshit. Um, but I'm sure there's parts of it like that too, where there's people
Yeah.
who maybe just don't put in enough effort, at the right time. Like they should, like I don't know. They go and they race in one country and then they go to Europe and they're like, "Oh yeah, I won everything in the US." And then they go to Europe and they get smoked and
Mhm.
they're like shocked and they just never actually can recover from it, you know? And then they maybe fall behind. I mean, you could name your scenario as to what happens, but point being, there's so many people that are looking to take that spot and would do anything for it. So
Mhm.
seeing people who are in this position that's, right below being in the pro league and treating it like that is pathetic. Like
Yeah.
everybody in there should be absolutely sweating, trying like playing for everything like it's the last match that they're going to play, and like they're putting their livelihood on the line because a lot of them, I don't think are. I think
Mhm.
there's a lot of those people like if you have that mentality about it, there's nothing at risk for you. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they must be living at home and mom and dad are paying for everything for them and they don't have to worry about anything, you
Mhm.
know. But if you're living in an apartment by yourself or you have a house or you've got bills to pay and stuff like that and there's a Challengers Cup coming around the corner that you can win, 5 grand for, oh, dude, you're gonna be sweating, like, you're like, "I need that money." Like,
Yeah.
in order to live for the
Yeah.
next month, I need that.
And it's like in any sport, you're gonna be in the top 1%. Only the
Yeah,
top 1% of everyone can be a professional.
yeah,
So, like, you're right there and you're gonna quit. And there's politics and everything too. Like,
right.
yeah, hard work doesn't get you, like, all the way to the top immediately, but it definitely, helps out a ton. Um,
Yeah, it totally does. So, to those people
yeah.
that are like that, man, I mean, you can just wave goodbye to them. Screw them. They're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
If they're having that mentality about this now, it's
Mhm.
very unlikely that it's gonna change, and if you have that now, you're never gonna you won't even be considered, like, you wouldn't even be able to handle the pressure and, like, what you need to be doing to be successful
Mhm.
in the top and even perform just in a pro league.
Yeah, and they're doing, like, a breakdown of, like, omit I think they can get paid, and it's not a lot. It's like $200 or something for the month. Like, that's their salary,
Right,
and I saw people in chat were like, "That's it?" I'm like, "What do you mean that's it?" Like, yeah, hindsight, that's not a lot of money, but do you realize you're just making money from playing a video game at the end of the day? That's what you're
right.
doing, and it's a huge risk for the owner to even, like, fund that, right? Like,
Oh, yeah, of course.
all these guys that are in the pros or, like, retired pros, they're playing for no money. They weren't making
Right.
anything. And then they just
Yeah,
started making, like, a ton of money, like, when investors and stuff came in, but, you know, they were playing for, like, $200.
yeah.
Like, imagine
Nah,
just getting a free, basically $200 for us doing this.
yeah, it'd be
$200
insane.
a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
100 each, like, to just do this. And that's probably the
Again,
most meaningful $100 that we'll get.
I think, yeah, again, like, closing out on that, man, it's a lot. I think the people who say that stuff, those are the people who've, like, never actually worked a day in their life, you know?
Yeah,
Like, they've never been, like, cutting cables or, like, washing dishes, and getting, like, paid jack, you
yeah.
know?
They see
Like, they've never
Zuma and
had
everyone
jobs. Yeah, they see
making
all these guys
20K a
who get.
month.
Right, right, and that's like, they'll see, like, "Oh, yeah, he makes 6K a month," and they're like, "That's okay."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay." Like, some of those people, yeah, they're so out of touch. It's like, "Oh, yeah, you can make if you win everything in challenges, you can make there's like 60, 80 grand, it's not bad." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Not bad." I'm like, "That's pretty freaking good," but
yeah.
I mean, but again, like, who's actually doing all that, winning all that? Nobody, so it's way less than that. But now it's all perspective. A lot of these people just don't have it, whether it's life experience and just they haven't done that shit, um, or they've just got some mentality issue that they've got to fix. But
Mhm.
yeah, screw those people. That's what I
They
say
don't
about them. They're a
they
bunch of
don't have the
losers.
dog in them.
They don't got that
They're
dog in them, bro.
they're not ready to be a
No,
pro if they're
no,
they're like
no,
that.
they're not. They're not. But yeah, it's an interesting topic though for sure. I mean, I again feel pretty strongly about those
Mhm.
guys that they just need to take their job more seriously. I think if you see
Yeah,
that, you know, I don't know. I hope that those people that are acting like that are not the ones who could have been really good pros.
yeah,
I hope
yeah,
those are the people who are just like, they're okay, but they would never have made it anyway. And I hope the people
yeah,
who are really grinding and taking it seriously, those are the names we see in like coming years.
yeah. And again, I only say this because I don't want the scene to just die and collapse. There's a reason why we've played COD, like, all these years
Right.
and then got into competitive. It's
Right.
these future players, like, coming up and up. Like,
Right.
don't be fucks and ruin it for everyone else. Like, go
They
chase your dream,
right,
and then, like, you guys can be pros.
right.
But if you're just gonna give up, then, the scene's dead. And
Words
then,
of wisdom from Justin. Don't be a fuck.
dude, yeah, try hard.
There you go. But yeah, man, I think that's it, honestly, on everything we talked about. Again, all the stuff regarding the strange weekend of matches and then talking
Mhm.
about people who are acting like fucks. Let us
Yeah.
know in the comments what you think about these people.
Call of Duty
Because it is an
overcharging us.
interesting topic. Yeah, and Call of Duty overcharging us, like, will it be an issue? Again, I think it will happen. Like this whole rumor. But to what extent, that's what we'll have to go figure out. So again, the people that are listening, let us know in the comments on YouTube what you think about it. And do you think they're gonna like Is it gonna be just a little bit, or are they gonna totally bend us over and try to get us for everything
You
that
gotta
we have?
pay a fee for every match you load into. 25
Yeah,
cents.
right. Yeah, exactly. Do you wanna match make faster? Get a little boost
Yeah, yeah.
for $1
Dollar.
for 4
Yeah.
hours, bro.
Dude, imagine.
Dude, there's some Activision exec would hear that, "Write that down, write that down."
Dude.
It's like, "That's a good idea, dude." But yeah, man, I think that does it, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
No.
So again, everybody, thank you for listening to this episode 221 of the COD Casuals podcast. Be sure to go to anchor.fm/COD Casuals since we're there on all stream platforms. And of course, go into the Instagram and TikTok. If you want to watch the whole episode, just go and check out the shorts since we cut them up there. And be sure to follow us on those platforms, as well as going to Twitter or X at the COD Casuals. You want to keep in contact with us. We're pretty much tweeting there all the time.
Mhm.
And Spotify, 5 stars, as always.
Only.
Yes, only. And be sure to answer those questions that we leave there, because we always
Mhm.
appreciate it. We'd like to see what people say about what we're talking about. Um, and yeah, I think that's it, man.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, everyone, thank you for listening to this episode number 221 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike,
I'm Justin.
and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.